I want to know if you can introduce your parents to us. They're here, right?
You introduce them.
Go ahead and say it.
Well, just tell us their names.
I can't reach it.
We can hear you.
We can hear you. Go ahead and talk.
Yeah, say it. Melanie, Uzek, and Kirkis.
I didn't think this was going to be that hard.
It's not that. Macy, introduce your mom. What's your mom's name?
Melanie Utek,
And
What's
what's
your
your
dad's
dad's name?
name?
Kirk Utek,
And who else is here? You have a brother, older brother here or somebody?
Kirky,
What's his name?
Caleb Utek.
All right. Thanks very much. You guys work on that skill, all right?
Kirk is one of my favorite tech ed teachers at Parker High School. That's why I thought maybe
Ah.
we could embarrass him a little bit. He's worked here for a few years. I seem to remember hiring him. So thanks for bringing the kids along.
All right. Consider approval of the October 9th, 2018 Board of Education agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that passes unanimously 9-0. Safety message.
Every year, October brings with it a very important and critical consideration, fire prevention. October is National Fire Prevention Month. Unfortunately, fire kills more than 4,000 Americans each year and approximately injure 20,000 more. U.S. fire departments respond to nearly 2 million fires each year, with 3/4 of them occurring in residences. You know, it's important to at least have a perspective of why fire prevention is important. Intrinsically, we may think that, oh, okay, of course we want to prevent fires. But even saying that, there's still some critical things we must do and be prepared. And we often hear about smoke alarms and those things, which are absolutely wonderful. But one of the things that we really don't talk much about are fire extinguishers. And every home should have a fire extinguisher. You know, I would say it should have at least one. And I would probably say probably 2 or 3, depending on, you know, what you're doing in the home and what's available. One of the more recent, maybe it's an epidemic or what has caused quite a few home fires, has been turkey fires, or I should say grilling in positions that we really shouldn't be in too close to our house. But if you happen to do that, which I have done that from time to time, but I have my handy fire extinguisher right along with me. So if something does happen to go wrong, I can respond to it quickly. So that's just the one thought is if you don't have a fire extinguisher, please go get one. ABC class levels. So thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Citizen comments. We have one, Jessica Congdon. Did I pronounce that right? And Jessica lives at 1707 South Marion Avenue. James.
Hi,
Hi, Jessica.
I'm deaf, but I can talk. So if I'm talking too loud or not loud enough, just kind of let her know. She'll let me know. One of the things I wanted to kind of talk about was bullying. And I know you guys have had a lot of discussion about that the past couple board meetings. But my concern is my daughter kind of went through some of those things last year. Things weren't progressed as well as with her. She goes to middle school. She was in 7th grade. She lost trust in her school, which means she doesn't trust that the principal, the counselors, or teachers are looking out for the best interests of not just her, the other students as well. That's hard because she's in 8th grade this year. She's kind of having some other issues with bullying again this year. She doesn't trust. So how does she go about to talk or to prevent the bullying that's going on for her is affecting her health? And it's just having nauseous, she's having stomach problems. She feels like she doesn't have the trust within the school district to help her get the quality education that she should have. So as a parent, I thought that, I thought about a lot of different things. How can a parent, along with the school district, help fight and build a stronger community for all students in Janesville? I don't want to just bring out my daughters, what's happened to her, but all students have the right to have the quality health environment that they should have for education. Whether, I don't know, we have a committee with parents and teachers to kind of sit down and kind of talk about what we're looking for, what the school district needs to kind of help everyone, not putting blame on who did this or who did that, because that's where the problem comes in when you start pointing the finger, well, you're not doing this or you're not doing that. It's harder as a parent or as a teacher to come up with a whole solution for the whole school district. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to share is I think that, maybe it's time to take a look at the anti-bullying and the bullying procedure and kind of think, how can we improve it so that all students can feel safe and healthy while they're at school. That's all I have.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody have comments or questions for Jessica? All right. Thank you very much. Student presenters from Craig High School, Gracie Weston. Welcome back, Gracie.
Hi, it's good to see everybody. So pretty much a lot of the stuff that's been going on at Craig is based off of homecoming right now. Like that was the big topic. So starting last Sunday, student council came to Craig and they decorated all the hallways. And we were there for about 6 hours that day. Like it was really fun though. It kind of helped us get to know everybody because there's new people in student council every year. So it was really fun to do that. And then on Tuesday, our prides had a door decorating competition. So our teacher just kind of put us in charge and let all of the people in your prides get to know each other and use teamwork more or less to get the door put together. And then all the students got an email and you got to vote for which door you liked the most. So that was another thing to get everyone together. And then on Thursday, we had our parade where clubs, sports, and our homecoming court went around the neighboring streets of Craig, and we threw out some candy to the schools, and we all just kind of got to represent the things we're involved in. And Friday we had our pep assembly, and Asa Albrecht and Summer Rhodes were crowned homecoming king and queen. And we also used the pep assembly to recognize teachers that have worked at Craig for quite a bit of time. And that night we had our football game against Madison West, and we won 39-6. So that was also fun to be there. And Saturday we had our dance, and we had 994 students attend, which is the most amount of students that Craig has received. The class of 1968 had their 40-year class reunion, and Dr. Beyond took them around the building and showed them some new things that were in the school and just all the changes that have been made over the past 40 years. And today we had our blood drive. The Junior Student Council ran that. And I was told that we have the most amount of donors in our region for, I guess, the blood drive itself. So that was really cool to find out. And last year we also hit a record for the most amount of pints donated. So we've been doing really well with those. And coming up, next Tuesday we'll have early release because teachers will be working on grading with the Parker teachers too. And October 24th and 25th, we'll have our parent-teacher conferences, and there will be no school on the 26th either. And last thing is vote for Keanu Benton. He is in the run for the nationwide football game sponsored by Under Armour. So spread the word and get him voted so he could play in that game. Thank you, guys. Any questions or?
Buddy? Grandma? Okay. Go ahead, Jim. Wait, go ahead.
I I know that St. Paul's kids were really looking forward to your parade because they were talking about it all that morning.
Yeah.
They couldn't wait and they thought, it hadn't started. I'm sure them and the Roosevelt kids were very excited.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was so fun. They were all just cheering. They're like waving at us. I was like, I've never felt so important. Yeah, thank you guys.
Next, from Parker High School, Jesus Hernandez. Welcome.
Thank you.
Is this your first time?
Yes, sir.
Well-
Except in middle school, I've been here for peer mediation.
Oh,
But good evening, everybody. My name is Jesus, as he presented me. It is a busy time of the year at Parker High School. Our school store, the barn, is up and running. Since the start of the school year, over 1,400 bus tokens have been sold at the barn. Students appreciate this service, and the barn staff enjoys the extra traffic. The barn also is selling Viking apparel as well as a number of new spirit items. Our newspaper staff has completed their first edition of the Odin. This year's first edition showcases homecoming, student activities, editorials, and the school events. As Parker continues to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month on Friday, October 12th, the Beloit Even Start dancers will perform at Parker in the large auditorium. The Even Start dancers perform traditional Mexican ballet, folklorico. The dancers are current school district of Beloit students. Their performances start at 2 p.m. They will have audience participation that will include both staff and students. Come out and enjoy your dance moves. 20 students enrolled in agriculture courses attended the World Dairy Expo at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin on October 2nd. Included in the group are 6 students that will be competing in a career development event, also known as the CDE. Janesville Parker FFA will be competing in a milk quality and product CDE and the Dairy Cattle Evaluation CDE. Our milk quality and products team placed 4th at the state contest in April 2018. Last Thursday and Friday, over 300 freshman students participated in National Manufacturing Day. By touring multiple locations in the Rock County area, some of the locations included Black Hawk Tech, Lanier, United Alloy, Baker Manufacturing, Pratt Industries, Evonik Corp., and local manufacturing businesses. The Overture Centris Jerry Awards take place Sunday, October 7th at 10 p.m. on the flagship channel. See the 1-hour 2018 Jerry Awards show highlights program on Wisconsin and Milwaukee Public Television. Parker High School's production of White Christmas is one of the highlights from the original 4-hour show selected for this special broadcast. Several of our Parker students selected from their outstanding performances are also featured. Relive your favorite moments from the show and get excited for the start of the 2018 through 19 school year. Performances. Parker Acapella Choir students will participate in the Big 8 Choral Festival on October 8, 2018 at Sun Prairie High School. Dr. Andrew Last, Director of Choral Activities from Luther College, will serve as the conductor. Students will rehearse during the day and present a concert that is open to everyone at 2:30 p.m. in the Sun Prairie Auditorium. It is a thrilling sound to hear 400 students collaborate for this concert. There is no charge for the concert, but you must check in at the main office to attend this event. Students have completed signups for the PSAT test, which will take place on October 10th. This is open to all students in grades 9 through 11. Women in Business. On October 19th, students will have the opportunity to participate in an alumni panel discussion with current female business professionals, network with UW-Whitewater, business professors, current students, and College of Business and Economics staffs. Participate in 3 interactive workshops that will introduce them to various careers in business. Attend a mini career fair about business majors, related careers, and student organizations. They will get to meet students from other area codes, high schools, and enjoy a lunch on campus and win great prizes. The parent-teacher conferences will be held on October 24th and 25th. In addition to meeting with teachers on Wednesday from 4 through 7 p.m., Parker will be hosting a family resource fair where families can meet with staff from local colleges, get help with financial aid and scholarships. They can also get information from community resources, attend an immunization clinic, and free dental and health screenings. Learn about courses that are offered at our school, and have dinner. This is the 3rd year that we will host our Learning Showcase and Community Connection Night. Thank you for your time. Any questions?
thanks. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Next, recognition of our custodial maintenance staff. Keith Pennington, Bill Samborski, and Dave Leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for the recognition tonight of two of the district's most important departments, our maintenance department and our custodial department. Just to give you an idea of the size of the staff that we have 16 and a half maintenance workers and have 86 and a half custodians. It's not full-time, not FTEs, but you can see with the two combined, we have over 100 staff people that clean not only all of our own buildings, but they also clean and or maintain Tagos, most of JSOL, Chestnut House, our rented storage area, Monterey Stadium, including all of the grass work, and of course the ESC building. Now, instead of listening to me go on and on about the merits of the department, I'm going to invite Dave Leader, our maintenance manager, and Bill Samborski, our manager of custodial transportation and purchasing, to go on and on about their departments. So first, Dave. Might as well come up too.
Good evening.
Hey,
Are
Dave.
you ready for on and on? And on?
Yes.
All right. Okay, speaking on behalf of the maintenance department, I thank you all for recognizing our district maintenance and custodial groups. It's really appreciated. I've been here almost 20 years, and this really has never happened, so thank you. As Keith pointed out, our maintenance team is comprised of 16 full-time and 1 part-time employee dedicated to provide our students and staff with a healthy teaching and learning environment. Our district maintenance team is responsible for maintaining over 2 million square feet of buildings, from the roofs to the grounds and everything in between. For example, we maintain over 200 acres of green space that consists of mowing, weed eating, tree trimming, athletic field maintenance, ball diamond grooming, field lining, as well as playground equipment maintenance. And here's something that is coming up sooner than we know it: snow. So to remove snow from our district sites, it takes the entire maintenance crew to complete this. We remove snow from 10 miles of sidewalks, as well as thousands of square feet of parking lots and asphalt playgrounds. Moving on to this past summer, which is very challenging for our group with the renovation of Edison Middle School, coupled with capital improvement projects and routine maintenance tasks, we assisted UNESCO with the completion of Edison Middle School renovation under a 3-month time period. I mean, that was outstanding. It was a lot of work in a short period of time. And witnessing the beginning of the project, when the building was literally torn apart, one would think there is no way this project could be completed by the beginning of school. And those words came out of a contractor's mouth. And I looked at him, I'm like, well, guess what? It's going to be completed by the time the school kids come back to school. So collectively, we did it. So I'm very proud of maintenance folks and UNESCO as well. A few examples of maintenance contributions to the renovation were the dismantling and reinstallation of all building furniture. I never realized there was that much furniture at Edison Middle School. I think Jim Lemire can attest to that. The installation adjustment of 42 smart boards and projectors, swimming pool cleaning, and so many other odds and ends. It's amazing. And I have to say, one of the key contributors to the success of Edison's renovation is Edison's own maintenance mechanic, Wayne Truman. I mean, I know there were many times Wayne was ready to pull his hair out. I mean, he was, especially the demands that came, especially towards the end of the project. Folks are coming back, this isn't right, that's not right. Coming to me, he's very professional, did an outstanding job. So an enormous thank you to Wayne Truman. In addition to thanking our district maintenance department for their efforts, I would also like to thank 2 individuals that support our maintenance department in many ways. That is Becky Barrett, the Building and Grounds Secretary, who takes care of all the custodial and maintenance attendants, as well as assisting with transportation issues and ordering of supplies. And last but not least, Jennifer Dici, our stockroom clerk, who ensures our products are delivered in a timely manner to keep all departments operating smoothly. And without those 2, our jobs would be much more challenging, so I thank them as well. Any questions? Thank you.
Outstanding. Thanks very much.
Good evening.
Hi.
As you heard Keith say, there and Dave as well, there's over 2.25 million square feet that our two departments support in some fashion, spread over more than 21 sites. I've had the privilege of working in the custodial group for a little over 6 years. And we have people in the building anywhere from 5 a.m. until 1 a.m. That's 4 hours of the day that we don't have somebody somewhere. Custodians do the cleaning, which I think everybody realizes, but we also set up and tear down for events. We do light maintenance things like change light bulbs, hang shelves, or pencil sharpeners. They handle delivery, they handle some of the snow removal. Maintenance does the big snow removal. We have to do all the entrances, all the stairways, all the things that they can't get at with their equipment. I feel the custodial team is made up of a lot of dedicated, hardworking people that have to be flexible and versatile. They are helpful to their buildings. They become skilled with experience, and I feel they're quite dedicated to their responsibilities. To give you an idea of some of the development that's happened in my experience, we've done, for every new employee that comes from the outside, never worked in custodial before, we give up to 16 hours of training. We don't just throw them to the wolves. We also do annual safety training that covers things like fire, electrical, lifting, ladders, hazmat, etc. We've done teamwork training within the group so that everybody understood how important it is to be a team player and what they can do to help each other. We have chemical and equipment training on about every 1.5 to 2 year basis so that everybody's familiar with new equipment or stuff they haven't used before. We've done leadership training for our head custodians because they're responsible for everything at their building and they lead a team of people depending on the size of the building. Head custodians have also been involved in the recruiting of openings at their buildings. They have a voice and a vote in the hiring decision. And we've done technology training because not everybody in the group is a computer expert, but we do expect them to check email and use computer tools, and things are going more and more electronic every year. We've had some process improvements. In 2015, our contract with our current supplier was up, so we evaluated options and we went with a different cleaning supplier, chemicals, and system, which gave us better chemicals, safer chemicals, and at a lower cost. We've either replaced or added equipment as necessary, both for efficiency and for safety, because we want to avoid people getting injured on the job, and we want them to be able to do a good job. We've changed our supply ordering system, which used to be a large batch process, hoping we had enough inventory here at this building, to where head custodians order online. I get a notification, check it to make sure there's no anomalies. Within 3 or 4 days, what they've ordered is usually delivered right to their building and doesn't have to come through our warehouse anymore, which saved not only time there, but in accounting for the invoicing and the purchase orders. Summer cleaning. Every year I've been here, we've been able to get more done in the same time or less time due to planning it ahead of time, monitoring how we're doing, and utilizing these better tools and equipment. This past summer, we also enjoyed the challenge at Edison. We normally take about 10 of the weeks in the summer break to clean the schools. We got about 5 weeks at Edison, and not 5 weeks of an empty building, 5 weeks of parts of the building as they were doled out to us. We were literally working the Sunday before school started to finish that building, but I think Jim would say that it was ready. What are the results of all this? A lot of feedback has come in that things run smoother. Head custodians are more skilled at leading the team at their buildings. All custodians have tools, equipment, chemicals, information, whatever they need to do their job, they have it. One of my gauges is complaints. My first year here, I would average 3 or 4 complaints, legitimate complaints a month from some school somewhere about something custodial. Now, we're down to maybe 3 or 4 a year, and if you were to ask me when was the last one I got, I can't remember. It was months ago. I consider that progress because I don't think our critics all of a sudden got shy. I also feel the morale in our department is higher, that people are happier in their work. I'm hoping that shows at the schools. So the conclusions I draw from this are, I feel our team really cares about the responsibilities to building the staffs and students they serve. They do take pride in their work and they try to do a good job for school every day. Our groups may be less visible than others because we do a lot of our work in the evenings when most people are not around. But it's important because I guarantee if you showed up to the building one morning and nobody had touched anything, maintenance or custodial, you would notice. So I'd like to thank everybody in the room for the recognition for these groups on their behalf. I'm thanking you. It's their work that accomplishes all this. And that's the end of my comments.
Thanks, Bill.
Sure.
Not exactly. Well, just to close briefly, thank you, Dave and Bill. Thank you again for the recognition. These departments certainly appreciate knowing that their work and their important contribution to the education of our children is appreciated. So thanks again.
Excuse me, could you, go ahead, Dale.
One of the things that I've been out to several schools, and sometimes we just think of the teachers and the aides, whatever. And I'm so impressed, and these gentlemen should be so proud of their staffs and how the janitors, the custodians, everybody, they're positively touching the kids every day, right along with the other staff, so that the kids feel welcome. And sometimes we forget how they positively touch the kids. So, good job, guys.
Anyone else? Go ahead, Jim.
I just wanna, reiterate what Dale said. I know I've known a number of the head custodians and custodial staff, and maintenance staff, and the one thing that always is etched in my mind is one of the custodians said, you know, this little child comes in every day and hugs me, and that puts a smile on her face. She's ready to go to school. And, you know, that's so important, you know, because maybe they didn't have such a great morning at home, but when they're in school, they get a hug and they're ready to go. So, thank you, everybody.
Anyone else? Could you introduce the two custodial maintenance individuals in the back for us?
This is Tracy Wong. He's the maintenance mechanic at Craig High School.
Welcome.
Great maintenance.
This is Vince Ridden. He is the custodian that takes care of this building. And he's been with us over 28 years.
Yeah, right. All right. Consider approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously 9-0. Staff feedback on Edison Middle School capital improvements. Principal Lemire.
Good morning. Oh boy, here we go. Good start. Good evening, Board of Education, Superintendent Pufall, Commissioners. I just wanted to take this time, and it was fitting that the gentlemen and ladies have been recognized up to this point based on the renovations that happened at Edison Middle School this summer. 2 to 3 months worth of renovations, $14 million ballpark is where we're going with that. And I really wanted to come tonight to thank all of you sitting around the tables here tonight, to advocate for Edison Middle School, to advocate for the staff and the students. I don't know if some of you were given the pleasure of walking through Edison Middle School prior to this renovation. It's a lot of brick in that building, and it's a heat box previously. And that we thought that as we went throughout the years, and this is my 11th year at Edison Middle School, at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year, you would see kids struggle. You could see it in their faces. You could see it in staffs. Well, you didn't even need to see it in their faces. You could see it all over them with the sweat and the teachers going through it and answering questions late at night if they could wear shorts the next day because it was that hot. 1971 building and windows that may not necessarily work properly. The renovations that happened this summer have been fantastic. As I want to reiterate what Mr. Leader said, I didn't think a couple times that I walked through this summer, I was like, whoa, where's this timeline? And of course, my stress led to when my teachers come back, I'm going to be dealing with a lot of questions. And as we went along, I wanted to also take this time tonight to also throw kudos out to UNESCO. Brian Hick, Jason Aiken, who were the project managers who have worked primarily with me, communicated with me throughout the summer, making sure I was aware of what was going on, when it was going on, and reassuring to me, even though I was worried, they were always calm and saying, don't worry, we'll be good. We'll be good. And obviously not being a person of tech ed excellence, I was like, there's no way. But be that as it may, they were correct. We still continue to do tweaks and turns, but all the contracting that UNESCO has worked with, the contractors, quite a bit to name, even to this point and even to today, they're right on top of things. We call and we ask. They've been fantastic in their reply. Lastly, Wayne Truan, which Dave Leader spoke to earlier as our maintenance person at Edison Middle School. He is bar none a most fantastic person to work with. And he's got a very calm demeanor, and he just goes about business and gets things done. And he certainly is not the person to sit there and wait for a pat on the back ever. He shows up when he needs it, and he was kind of the lifeline between the contractors, me, and UNESCO. So a lot of congratulations should go out to Wayne Truan. The maintenance with Dave Leader, who's always been on the phone answering my calls, my worries. And also the custodial, all of them that slowly trickled in come probably the beginning of August, and trying to work around hard hats and wearing safety glasses, which they didn't care for, but they did it. By the time our kids came back, we were ready to roll. And obviously we needed some things to be taken care of, but the staff at Edison Middle School should be thanked because their patience. And we spent a couple of days trying to find out where everything was. So it was returned to the wrong places. But we set up kind of areas where, things that weren't belong in our room, we put it there. And then they went there to find some of their stuff that wasn't in their room to bring back to their rooms. And, sometimes when you deal with that and a big change and the building was gutted and you worry about stuff coming back, it was very nice to see all of that just come together. And now, the lighting, the safety, it's a lot of things that you may not see, but it makes a huge difference. You walk in the door, you don't even need to feel it, you can breathe it too, just with the HVAC and the lighting and all those sorts of things. So a big thank you goes to all of you who advocated for our building, determined for our building, and UNESCO and the maintenance and the custodial and the Edison Middle School staff. I wanted to make sure I publicly give a thank you to all of them because it's been a great thing, and it's very much conducive to learning for our kids. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone? Thank you. Student count update.
Good evening, everyone. We have surpassed the magical third Friday count, which this year, the exact date for that count was Friday, September 21st. As of midnight last Friday in October, we had to have all of our books sent to the Department of Public Instruction. Our current results are that the district does continue to decline in enrollment, and we have been declining in that enrollment since 2014-15. During that time, we were at 10,395 students, and as of our third Friday count from September 21st, we are at 10,061 students. This is down 82 students from last year. Last year, we had gone down 113 students. Positives are that we continue to grow in kindergarten and in our P4J program, and I know that Angela Lynch and her P4J team are here, and they're going to speak when I get done in regards to what is going so well within their programming. We actually had 700 students on our account, which is our highest enrollment in the school district of Janesville on record. We also had a net gain of 180 open enrolled students for the school district for this third Friday count, which is also the highest net gain we have had on record. In regards to specifically who our competition is, if you want to call it competition, obviously with our proximity to the school district of Milton, that is the school district that we exchanged the most students with. However, we took in 311 of their students, and we only lost 180 students to the school district of Milton for this count. At this time, I would open up the floor for you to ask any questions that you would have.
Anyone? Go ahead, Carl.
I don't know if this is possible. Do we know how many students have transferred out to private schools?
We can look at that data. However, our parochial schools do not have to have their count in until October 15th.
Thank you.
Anyone? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Angela Lynch, P4J update. I see you brought some support with you.
Of course. Good evening.
Well,
we're going to get a magic clicker here.
All right.
That's being charged. We're very excited to be here tonight. I'm Angela Lynch, the coordinator of the P4J program, and we have a few things to share with you about the program that we want you to be aware of. So the first thing that we want to show you is our mission and vision. The way we created our vision is a Wordle. As you can see, there's lots of different words on the screen, and those were created by all of the staff in our program. They submitted words to us. The ones that were submitted the most frequently are larger, and the other ones are smaller, but it was a collaborative effort in our program. And our mission is down in the bottom right corner as well, partnering with families and the community, ensuring quality learning and social foundations for all of our 4-year-old children. So we're going to show you a little bit about how our P4J program supports our district promises. So this is the 11th year of P4J, and our enrollment is the highest it's ever been. We had huge growth. Last year we had 623 students, and this year we had 700 at third Friday count. So we're hoping that this will impact the enrollment for the whole district on the upswing. As Kim Perenboom was mentioning previously, it's been declining. We're hoping that we're going to have a trend in the other direction over the next several years. I've looked back at birth rates, and the birth rates from the previous cohort, this cohort of students, is higher, and it will continue to be higher over the next couple of years. So I foresee that we will have a higher number of students, possibly not 700, but hopefully higher than we've had in the past over the next couple of years as well. So we are fortunate to have 19 sites for P4J this year in Janesville. They are all over the city, and 6 of them are at our elementary schools, with Washington Elementary being added this past year. We also have 13 at community sites, and 2 of them are at parochial schools. 1 is at a Head Start center. We have a Montessori school. We have preschools, daycare centers. So they're all over the city, and we get to go visit them and make sure that they're providing quality learning for all of our 4-year-olds in Janesville. One of the things that we do best in P4J is our family engagement. We are expected to do 87.5 hours of family engagement in order to receive an increase in monetary funds from the state per pupil. So we are working on that every year, and we provide some events at the level of district, and then our sites provide events, and we send home information to families to round up the 87.5. So we're going to show you a few of the events that we get to do during the year that we have a lot of fun doing. The first one is our Rotary Gardens event. It's our P4J kickoff, and you can see some pictures of families having fun this year at that event. Since our numbers are up, our enrollment at that attendance at that event was also up. We had 900 people in attendance.
Wow.
Usually we have 700 to 800 people, and so we had 900 this year. So we were very excited to have them all there. And it is one of our best events. There's a literacy piece to it as well. So I'd like to introduce Cheri Rothenburg. She is our P4J social worker, and she is the one who plans all of these events and does these beautiful flyers for us so that families are invited. So here's Cheri. Just push it to the right. Okay.
Good evening.
Hi.
All right. So I'm just going to highlight some of the events that we do throughout the year, going along with our promises of building relationships. We really want to, at this point, be engaging not only the students, but also our parents and having those relationships with our community members. So one of our big partners is Pete the Cat. No, is Hedberg Library.
Yeah.
Our event last year was held at Hedberg Library, and they're a partner with us in multiple arenas. They brought the bookmobile out to Rotary Gardens in September. They end the year with us at our final event, but then they host our P4J families each year, and last year it was Pete the Cat Night. So again, we're focusing on that literacy. Another one of our community partners is JPAC. A lot of our families may not have that exposure or have never been to JPAC before, so it's a nice opportunity to get our students in to display their personal artwork, and then we usually have some form of entertainment, whether that's musical or a magician, and so we expose our students to that theater production as well. Home Depot, again, for those hands-on learners, we take a Saturday morning. Home Depot kind of clears a couple rows of aisles, or a couple aisles for us, and we have some projects that they can build, you know, throwing washers into to vanities or throwing things into toilets, the things that we don't want them to do at home, but they can do that out at Home Depot. And then I think it's important that we focus on multicultural. So we just have an ethnic meal for kids composing of Italian pizza and Mexican tacos and things that kids will eat, but also just exposing them to different cultures and different traditions from around the world. So we were able to last year have the Even Start dancers from Beloit come and perform. We've had our Native American drummers that have participated multiple years for us, and just a nice event for families. And then we end our year each year with an event called A Look to the Future, where we are preparing kids for that college or career life. And so we have our P4J teachers and some community members that will dress up in different professions, and the kids take a little tour around Parker High School and, you know, could see an artist and see construction workers and have the opportunity to learn a little bit about those different professions. And then we decided to throw in some technology this past year where we had the green screen, so kids could pretend they were an astronaut and pretend that they were working for the Janesville Fire Department. So the kids had a lot of fun with that one.
Okay, and focusing on literacy, we have Cindy Seichter, who is our program support teacher, and she's also our coach for P4J, and so she's going to share a little bit about what we are doing for literacy.
So again, focusing on our promises, one of them is the 90% of third graders being able to read at grade level. We want to start that as low as we can, and I am proud to say that I'm part of also the early literacy task force that we have started. But I want to talk to you just a little about what we do in P4J. One thing that Cheri and I work on with our families is this program called We Both Read. And what it is we get together with families at different P4J sites, and the teachers work with the children as Cheri and I talk with the parents about reading with their children. How to use inflection, how to ask questions while they're reading with their children. And we found this really neat program. If you can see in that picture, on one side of the book, there are like a normal text. On the other side is just a few words and some highlighted words. And what it is a program where parents can sit down, grandparents, family members can sit with the children and they can read together, literally where the parent or the adult reads the one side with more text, and then the child can take turns and read their words on the other side that has less text. Just getting them to really see that they can read together. The children start learning that concept of print, that what that picture, those letters on the page have something to do with the picture on the page. Just that beginning reading, early literacy skills. And parents have been, they all get a book at the end of the night, and they go down and they practice with their child that's downstairs with the teachers playing at the time. And it's really neat that we've had, exit slips where we ask them what they thought was the greatest part or what was an aha for them. And it was really neat to say, wow, I didn't know that I could read with the inflection, that it's really more entertaining if I change my voice. Or I didn't know that I could read to my 1-year-old and it would make a difference in their lives. So it's really neat to do that. Another thing we do is what's called our take-home reading folder. We implemented this a couple years ago with all of our P4J sites. Each child has an envelope with this paper in it and a book. We usually weekly, the children take it home and they read with their families. And these are just some simple questions that parents can ask as they're reading. What is your favorite part? What did you see on this page? So they start to know the cover of the book, what's upside down, where the words are, where the picture is, and going back into text. Where was your favorite? Flip back and find your favorite picture. Just things that some parents and some families understand that some have never even thought about it before. So it was just giving them some ideas and a starting point to get reading with their children. And then I was going to talk a little bit about our social emotional development. Again, part of our promises, every student is known by name, strength, and need by at least one adult. P4J is working on what's called the pyramid model. We're trying to implement this with all of our teachers, all of our sites. It's a social emotional framework for classrooms, kind of what we have been told is called PBIS for preschool. So they actually work on the different, building relationships. The blue layer is, just the overall universals. The green layer is made targeted social skills. So really teaching those children how to play, how to say, can I play? Is it my turn? May I have a turn? Can I share? Just kind of those things that, you don't think about sometimes, or a lot of people don't think about. You teach your early literacy, you teach your early math skills. We really need to teach those social skills too. I think it's another direct instruction, another time that you spend with children, just teaching them. It's not something that they are born with automatically. And then the top of the pyramid is for those tier 3 kids that it's really those intensive instruction is needed for basically our children with the most challenging behaviors and challenges in their lives. So right now we're in the process of training some of our teachers. Cheri and I are teaching some teachers. We're kind of slowly trying to implement with different sites, but it seems to be going very well. Each of our monthly teacher meetings that we do, we kind of pull a little bit of the pyramid and use it, and try to teach all of our teachers about it. But just really, our P4J is really wanting to focus more on the social emotional growth of children and development, so that when they get older, those skills will come easier for them.
Great. Okay. So we have a lot going on in P4J, and we're very excited about it. And so we shared a little bit, but do you have any questions for us?
I like that shared reading resource. How is that transitioning from P4J to kindergarten to first, or how high does the level go?
Are you referring to the We Both Read books?
Mm-hmm.
We do have them at our Family Resource Center, so I also am the Family Resource Center coordinator for the district, and we have had them purchased for all of those Family Resource Centers, so they are able to use them. It does go up to 3rd grade, I believe, if I remember correctly. So
do we train staff in the regular schools, in the elementary schools, how to use that resource? It sounds like you're really using it in P4J. Mm-hmm. How is that built into the early literacy initiative?
That's a very good question. I'm not sure how each school is using it, except for the Family Resource Center part of it. So that would be a good thing for us to question and ask, maybe at an elementary principals meeting, and just see if they are using it.
Well, we do have similar resources in the classrooms too. At the elementary level, we have specific book rooms that go along with our guided reading, and then also part of the book rooms that they have in the buildings, the students have book bags that they take home, and within the book bags they have guidelines and recommendations and suggestions for how parents can read with their child and how they can support them as well too.
I just thought it was really cool as a grandparent of a second or third grader, I don't remember now, second grader and a kindergartner. I mean, it's a resource that I've never seen before that I think grandparents would really gravitate toward if they knew that was readily available to them.
Yes, it's a very nice resource. Any other questions?
So I should encourage my kids to have more kids?
Sure.
So they can,
Sure.
right? Is that the
Sure.
way it works? Okay.
Absolutely.
It's not too late to adopt more yourself.
All right. Anyone else? Outstanding. Very wonderful. Nice job. Consider approval of hourly wage increase for substitute paraprofessionals.
Good evening. Per a board member's request, actually, it was a request from Commissioner Millard and Commissioner Hayworth that we look at our substitute paraprofessional pay. And as we did analyze that over a period of time, we analyzed it last year and we just finished up a study of 11 districts this year. We are very low. So our recommendation is to move the substitute paraprofessional pay from $10.51 to $13.03, which is the base wage of our current paraprofessional chart that we start for. That cost would be an estimated cost with fringes at $33,042.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Anyone? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Michelle, for sticking with this one. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nobody. That passes unanimously 9-0.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ardrey.
The Legal Services RFP Committee was chaired by myself and the other commissioners that participated, Commissioner Thompson, Commissioner Damershausen, and then along with Mr. Pennington and Superintendent Pufall. We had 4 applicants. So we did an initial what we were going to look for as we reviewed the RFP. So we sort of had our guiding principles of what we wanted to look for in the first place. So we had 4 applicants and 3 really qualified based on what we were looking for. We interviewed the 3 firms, Strang, Patterson, Rennie, Lewis, and Lacey was the first one. And I wanted to just highlight a couple of things about the firms, and I think it's really important because it really gets to the heart of what our final recommendation was. This particular firm is dedicated to public schools, and that's the only business they do from a law standpoint. They represent 140 to 145 districts, ranging in size from small to large. And they are a full service firm, meaning they don't need to go outside of their firm other than for bond work and intellectual property matters. They have offices in Madison, Green Bay, and Oshkosh, and they have 12 lawyers that really do their work. The other, and I'll call, so that was comprehensive firm number 1. Number 1 only because we interviewed them first. And the other comprehensive firm that we have used for various, Boardman and Clark, we have used them for bargaining in the past. We've had that. As board president, I used them for a review of several things that we had to deal with. But they also represent 125 different educational institutions, districts, and our CISAs, which is kind of important because that gives them even a broader perspective. And once again, they keep all of their law work is internal for the most part, except for bond work, with an office in Madison. Then our other firm, our local firm, Nolan and Maude, interesting that they only service us from a school district perspective. So it's a unique, I guess, work for them. But, really, when you look at how long that we as a district have been involved with them, it dates back to 2005. Once again, they have 12 attorneys that they call on, really a focus of 2 to 3, but others are available for us. we were super impressed by all three firms, to be quite honest. And the way the policy reads and in practice, what we've had is we really have sort of a general counsel, and then we'll go to any necessary firm for whatever particular specialty that they may have. And we will continue to do that. We'll continue to have Nolan and Mott as our general counsel, but from what we've learned, there will be particular work that we will go to the other firms with. We think I think as one of the attorneys said, they want to audition for us. And we thought it was important to give them the opportunity and us the opportunity because we know what we have today, but we have no idea what we could have and what that looks like. So it definitely doesn't say anything negative at all about our current, because we want to continue with them, have been very receptive and responsive, and we would continue to expect that, but we will at least look for the other firms to provide work as necessary. The other thing, and it really wasn't a part of this, but when we start to look at board policy, and the policy that speaks to this one is 8370, and we did not stick to that policy wholeheartedly. And when I say that, the policy says solicit Rock County law firms and get them to provide proposals. Well, that's not exactly what we did. We left it open to say, whomever is interested in doing work for us, submit your proposals. So then it was these four, and as I said, 3 qualified. So one of the things we definitely need to do is clean up the policy. We know it's just one more of many for us to do, but I thought I would at least mention that we didn't quite stick to that policy. So thank you for all that participated. It was a long, grueling interview day from really 9 to 2 going through it. But the other piece, this is the 3rd time I've been involved in a review of our legal services, and this was clearly the most comprehensive from a questioning standpoint and truly understanding the capabilities of the firms. So it was really well done. Thank you. Unless there's questions.
I just have a question about procedure, so the board doesn't have to approve this, or it was done by the administration.
We're just moving forward with this recommendation in hand. You don't really need, I mean, you can if you want, but you don't really need to approve this. The policy is with the caveat that Greg just described being followed. And it's the prerogative of the board to, every 3rd year go to these reviews or not. This year we chose to do that. And so we're proceeding based on the work of the committee.
Okay, thank you.
I think there's one thing, and I did forget. So one of the key pieces, and it's a reminder of, so what did we really do? I mean, yes, we reviewed, but why did we do it? So the legal firm that we chose, number one, will be, if need be, the legal firm that represents us as a board, which would be different. So if there came a need, which hopefully we're not getting into one of those, where it could be, in essence, the board needs its own law firm, and maybe administrative or an administrator may need a law firm. Well, that's where it's clear separation. So, and everybody understands that. We look to the superintendent and our whatever designee in given area to make the call of is a situation potentially pitting really the law firm, that situation, just so they understand what they're getting into ahead of time. So I thought it was important to mention that, because it was one of our who chooses the law firm and for what reason. So thank you.
Thank you very much for that work. You guys spent extra hours. I appreciate that very much. Okay. Did anybody else have any comments or questions about that?
I just appreciate that the committee met and went through the process. Many organizations just choose to roll over and can roll over the law firms or roll over the contractors. And doing an internal and an external review of our policies and our procedures and seeing that we're doing things correctly, this reinforces that because we are bringing on the same firm again. But it does make me feel really good that every 3 years we take a look at this, go through that effort so that we're clear to our constituents that we are taking the best firms forward to represent us as a district. So thanks for the effort to do that.
Anyone else? Okay, last item, summary of board requests. I have a new one that was submitted by myself and was co-sponsored by James Millard. It has something to do with policy 3640, administrative regs 3640.1, and attached facility use fee schedule. So it's about policy that guides the public's use of our facilities and how much it costs to do that. And talking to the superintendent, we're going to schedule this discussion for one of the meetings in November. My motivation particularly focused on the fee schedule. And very narrowly, my focus was on the use of our swimming pools and what we charge to use a swimming pool. You'll see the fee schedule. There's a lot of variables involved, but in the pool in particular, it's just very narrow. We charge $36 an hour for youth groups and $100 an hour for adult groups. And I'm not sure I understand. I guess fundamentally we're about children, but I don't see why there's that inequity, whether you're adult or a child in this community use the pool. So that's just one in particular. And there's some variables or some information we'll need to see, like there'll be interest in what's the annual revenue from the use, and how could this affect that. But we should be able to have this discussion prepared for sometime in November. It's administrative regulation that guides the fee. The policy just says the board recognizes, we have facilities and the public should use them. But the administration determines those rules. So that will be coming. And yes.
Will that be as a complete board discussion or? Okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to know. Not committee.
Correct. So we've reached the end of our agenda. We're adjourned.
I didn't think that kid introducing the parents was going to be that.
Circus.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I didn't either.